Ah, listen, guys, I'm Julie's at her mountain property. I'm here at my lake house, beautiful Lake Lanier, overlooking it. We got some really good stuff to share with you all today. I hope you guys are ready. I want you all to take some notes because I'm telling you what you all are going to learn today. It will have an absolute impact on your business. And we're just gonna teach you all. I mean, that's our objective. We want to show you what it is that we do. We want to teach you how we do it. We've been doing this for 15 plus years. We got over 3,500 deals behind us. I'm having a cigar here. I'm just making myself at home at my own house. We've been doing this for 15 plus years. We got 3,500 deals behind us. We close as many as 10 deals a week here in the Georgia market. We do about another 30 to 40 deals a month in our Florida market. We do another couple deals a month in California. So bottom line is we're not really here experimenting with anything. We're not like running theories by anybody. We're not reading textbooks. What we do works. We have proven it thousands of times over. This is kind of a no-brainer. It's kind of like do what we do it the way we do it flawlessly, and you're going to get results. You know, this is not up for trial. And, you know, one thing we've learned is that, you know, real estate's a business of abundance, meaning there's no reason for us to hold back anything. You know, we truly want to help you guys. We feel like that if we are able to help you all do what it is we do, one way or another, with some of y'all, it's going to come back to us. Many deals that we do today are as a result of people that we've taught this business. I mean, you know, heck, I'll tell you a story about one of our partners, Seth, out in California. You know, we met Seth, gosh, how long was it been, Julie? About 2 years ago, a year and a half ago?
Yeah, I'd say about a year and a half ago.
About a year and a half ago. And I remember Seth, you know, we were going to teach Seth this business, and he was like a 25-year-old kid. And, you know, if Seth was here, I'd say the same thing. He was a kid. He didn't know a ton about this business. And, you know, we invest the time, money, effort, energy into Seth. And just in the last 30 days, I know yesterday we got a check for $33,000 in a deal that we did with Seth in California. And 2 weeks ago, we got a check for $60-some thousand. That's not bad. You know, about $100,000 we made with Seth here in the last 30 days. So that's what we do. You know, we feel like we invest time and effort into certain key people, and our energies is going to come back tenfold. Not with everybody. We know how that works, but with some people. So again, this is very important stuff. We're going to have a series of these on a weekly basis. We're going to congregate right back here. So you all just need to put it down. 7 o'clock Eastern time every Tuesday. We're going to do these live. By the way, there's a place where the way you guys are listening to this, there's a chat box. So any questions you all have, just type them in there. We're going to get to as many of them as possible. We want to answer them to the best of our, well, listen, we're going to answer them the right way. That's the bottom line. So if you have any questions along the way, just fill them into the chat box. And like I said, take notes. This is the real deal. No holds bar. We're going to show you exactly how we do it. And then at the end of this, we're going to give you a special opportunity to work with us. You know, some of y'all are going to take this information. You're going to run with it in hand by yourself. You know, great, super duper. You know, we wish you the best of luck because this stuff is duplicatable. There's no question about it. But for some of y'all, we're going to give you a special opportunity, a way to kind of get into our world. And so where we could actually work with you and do this almost from a perspective of, you know, partnering with you all and doing things together and all that. So we're very limited in the amount of spaces we have there, but we're going to do that. So anyway, on today's topic, today we're going to talk about talking to sellers. And guys, you know, I've said this before. I think I actually said it in one of the promo videos for this webinar. You know, there's a lot of moving parts in the real estate business. You know, there's what we're going to talk about today, talking to sellers, negotiating deals. There's, you know, contracting. There's rehabbing. There's working with real estate agents. There's, you know, figuring out the areas you want to do this in. There's the financial side, you know, borrowing money and the art of borrowing money and how to do it correctly. There's selling deals, you know, whether you sell it yourself, whether you have a real estate agent sell it, or whether you wholesale it to other investors. This is just Perrier water, good stuff. So in each deal, I don't care what kind of real estate deal you do, there's probably at least 7 to 15 moving parts. And the reality is a lot of these parts, although you have to know how to do each and every one of these parts, a lot of these parts you could make a mistake in and be okay. I mean, realistically, I mean, you can get your construction numbers off by $5,000, maybe $10,000 on a big project, and you'll be fine. Listen, we still do it. 15 years in a business, we still miss our construction numbers every once in a while. Tell me who hasn't done it. That's a liar. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're gonna, you think you're gonna sell at $300,000, and your agent sells it at $295 or $285, whatever. Okay, that's an overcomable mistake. Sometimes you think you're buying it in this really, really hot area, and then you buy it 2 blocks outside the hot area, and all of a sudden maybe the numbers don't match up. That's, again, an overcomable mistake. Sometimes, you want to get a 7% interest rate, 7% interest rate on a loan, and the best you could do is maybe 8%. That's fine. But there's one part of this business where you really cannot make mistakes in. And that is what we're going to talk to you guys about today. And that is negotiating, putting deals together. Because unless you become an absolute master at it, unless you become a superhero at this, unless you're able to do it flawlessly day in and day out consistently, nothing else happens. Because if you can't get deals from sellers at the right price, you'll never have a chance to sell it. You'll never have a chance to buy it. You'll never have a chance to fix it. You'll never have a chance to close on it. You'll never have a chance to finance it. So it is you hear this all the time, the cliche. It's all about the buy. It's all about the buy on the front end. Guess what? It is. Because if you don't know how to buy them correctly and how to get them correctly, this business ain't going to happen. So critical stuff we're going to talk about today. And I could tell you, I've negotiated, at this point in my career, I've negotiated hundreds, probably thousands of deals. We have a whole call center here in Atlanta of fine-tuned negotiators that have been with us for years, have negotiated deals for us on my behalf. So I've done it hundreds, if not thousands of times. I've seen it done hundreds if not thousands of times. I have people working for me that do it on a daily basis. But I will tell you, the absolute best negotiator in terms of talking to sellers, putting deals together, bar none, in my 15-plus year career, 3,000-plus deals, is Julie. I mean, I have never seen anyone that have that innate ability to talk to a seller, to massage that seller in the right way, to structure the deals in the right way. I mean, to this day, we have negotiators that work for us. We have real estate agents that on a daily basis put, dozens of offers on our behalf. Just last week alone, or the week before, we had agents put 15 properties under contract for us to buy. And guess what? To this day, our negotiators are still coming to Julie to ask for help with deals. Our agents that are out there putting deals together are coming to us. So y'all are in for a big treat today, because, Julie's going to take the lead on this. She's going to tell you what she does, how she does it, what it means to talk to a seller, and how you got to put deals together. All right, Julie, I'm gonna go back to my cigar. Take it away.
Okay, well, first off, I would like to thank everyone for taking the time out tonight to be with us. And most of all, taking the time out to better yourself and better your real estate career. Or maybe you're just getting started and this is a move in the right direction, So before we start talking about how do we talk to sellers, I'll go through the biggest problem that we have as far as any new students we have or real estate agents. Believe it or not, it's the fear of actually picking up the phone to make the calls. People will spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to do marketing and to set themselves up the correct way. And they have a fear of just making the initial call. They're worried about failure. I mean, call reluctance is a mental condition that prevents people from picking up the phone. All call reluctance is based on fear, the fear of rejection, the fear of the unknown, or that maybe you should just be doing something else with your time than making the calls. I can tell you, bar none, the best way to cope with that fear is to focus on the success that you're going to get in the end, right? as many of you know, you can be the best marketer in the world, you can be the best sales guy in the world, but if you can't get the deal in the first place, then you can't do anything. So I'm going to give you an example, that I heard from a gentleman that I'm working with actually here in Atlanta. So this guy decides he wants to work on probate leads to find his wholesale deals, which is great. So he goes to 2 counties, digs through all the probate records, right? Then he skip traces everyone's phone number, sends them to direct mail, and he's sitting there with 200 phone calls to make. Now, these are people actually interested in selling their property. And he says to me, Julie, I did all this work and I haven't done a deal yet. I'm like, dude, you hadn't even picked up the phone. How are you going to do a deal? So I said this to him. I said, look, let me make your calls for you. And all I'm going to do is make all your calls for you and you're going to split the profits with me. You know what he said? He said, okay. And I really could not believe it. I'm like, dude, you're really going to spend all this hours and all this money to split a deal with me just so that I'll make the phone call? No, sir. No, sir. So just get over the fear of making the initial phone call. That's the biggest thing that I can teach anyone, and just completely dial for dollars, because it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not do a good job on your first initial phone calls. Everyone has to learn. But whenever you're getting over that fear, what you have to realize is that you are not selling anything. Everyone has a fear of calling sellers because they believe that they're doing something incorrect, like they're trying to sell them something, when in the case is that we as wholesalers and investors, we're there to help people. Right, Peter? I mean, they're in situations where someone's died.
Absolutely.
You know, maybe they had a new baby, or maybe the house has just fallen to, it's just in disrepair. So without someone like us, they're not going to be able to put it on the market and get an FHA loan or a VA loan. And they're not going to have the time to show the property correctly. So that's what investors are here for, to help them get through tough situations. So with that being said, you've got to think about all those things before you even make the initial phone call. It's very, very important that you have a sense of empathy when dealing with people. I know, you've said this to me many times. You said, man, it's amazing how people will just tell you everything. Well, that's because I listen, and that's because I'm very empathetic to their life struggles. And honestly, by the time I get off the phone with a seller, I'm honestly about know their life story, because that's what I'm going for. I'm not there to be on the call to be a big talker. I'm there to be on the call to figure out what their issue is and how can we help them as a company, right? What can we do to get them to where they need to be? Maybe they need to sell quick so they can find a place to rent. We are problem solvers in this business. So I'm not going to give you a motivated seller script, mainly because I feel that when you use scripts, things just don't sound authentic. There's many occasions in life where scripts are important, but in this case, I don't believe in seller scripts. But one thing I do believe in is an actual lead sheet. Okay. So what a lead sheet does is it enables you to fill out the information while you're on the phone with the individual. And so that I'm able to get through the phone call and get all of my questions asked. It also gives me my flow. So it starts with
Julie,
me.
let me say something, because this is so important what you just said. I want to make sure, and I've been with Julie in this circumstance. We just put how big was that? Was that a 70-acre tract of land together? Up here, up the road. And I happen to, Julie and I happen to be talking to the seller there. We just somehow, the person that was working that deal on our team needed Julie's help. I think she and I were coming back from a meeting, so I popped over there to the, and I remember I was just like listening to her talk to the seller. And I'm just like sitting there, you know, I've been doing this for 15 years. So sometimes I get like short, short with people. And Julie's like not talking about the deal. She's just talking about her family, their family. She's talking about this and that. And I'm like, okay, Julie, are you going to get to the point? I mean, we're trying to put the 70 and we got the deal put together. And it's so important what you just said. It's not about the script, which you should have an absolute guideline. And I know Julie's going to go over that. It's about just talking to these freaking sellers. It really is just about getting to know them, figuring out what you have in common. If you have anything in common, we all have something in common. It's about, in the end, when we left, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you like have dinner with them like a week later or something? I mean, I've never seen people get like so much invited the way Julie, I mean, she gets invited by these sellers to have cookies, have cake, have this and all that. I mean, that is just so important what you just said. The ability to build a relationship with a seller is way, way, way more important than the ability to say 20 sentences the right way. You know, because people see right through that. People see if you're pitching them something, or people see a genuine person who's taking a genuine interest in them, in their life, in their situation. They obviously want to sell, so it's not like we're taking advantage of them. They just want to make sure that they're talking to the right person. So very important. Good. That critical point. All right. Sorry.
No. I appreciate it. So, you know, really, you know, we start with, and I want to start, I guess, kind of regress back a little bit. I don't believe in the big business theory. I don't believe when I'm talking to sellers, a lot of larger wholesalers or a lot of investors, they get to a certain degree where they lose the person-to-person relationship. And they'll answer the phone. Thank you for calling ABC Real Estate Group. Okay, well, immediately that seller's put off, in my opinion, because they know they're dealing with a big company. When you call my office or you call me, hey, it's Julie, what can I do for you today? Because I want them to deal with Julie, not a big company. I don't need them to know that we do 15 deals a week. I want them to think that they're dealing with me, right? And most of the time, you know, when I'm on the phone, they are. So initially, that puts me in a better spot than answering a canned voicemail. So let me go ahead and get your name. John, great. Thank you so much for giving me a call. So that I can look this up. Can I go ahead and get your address, please? So generally what I do is I have my seller script and I'll actually handwrite the address. I know that there are 1,000 better ways to do it, meaning people will be on the phone and they'll actually type all this information into the computer while they're talking to sellers. Well, guess what? When you're on your computer typing in your lead sheets into, let's say, Podio or somewhere else, your focus is on the computer and it's not on the seller, okay? We've all been conditioned since we were young to write and to talk to people. We did it in school all growing up, right? So I don't do that. But once they do give me the address, I will just throw it into Google. And as much as we're always like, oh, Zillow, at the same time, I kind of love it because it allows me to get a bigger picture of this home. So whether I know anything about the home or not, I could at least know there's a home. So I'm asking their address and hey, let me verify your phone number. Also, let me go ahead and get a good email address for you. Okay. You may get some objections there. You guys are not selling individuals' email addresses. So just explain the importance of you being able to get in touch with them. So I go straight into it. So, like I told you today, sir, we're going to make you a cash offer for your property. I just want to know why are you looking to sell your property? I mean, what's going on? Now, people will tend to be very prideful there, especially when they're in rough situations. So if someone says to me, I don't know, I'm just wanting to get an idea. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Well, I can get you an idea. And I just try to break the ice continuously as we go. But usually with having Zillow up, I'm verifying, oh, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. It's 1,700 square feet, right? Built in 1971. Yeah. So the funny thing is the power of getting people to say yes to you. I try to ask as many questions so that they get used to telling me yes. I don't care if it's, oh, I just want to make sure. You told me your name was Jim, right? Yes. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Yes. Because if he gets accustomed to telling me yes, then I'm going to get yes on the back end. Okay. So I'm asking these single questions. Is that a single family home? Is it a duplex, triplex, quad, townhouse? What type of property is it? Then I get into is the home owner occupied? Is it empty or is it tenant occupied? If it's tenant occupied, I want to know how much rent we're getting, when the lease expires, and then kind of what their overall feel is for that particular tenant. Okay. So here's the next beautiful thing. It's important not to be super monotonous when doing these calls. So I always like to throw funny things out there. And as you guys can all tell, I talk a little bit different than most. So the next thing I'm fixing to add, you may want to change it up a little bit, but I say, look, I kind of want to get a condition of your home. I really want to know how you feel about it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, sir, 10 meaning I could eat off the floor, and 1 meaning there ain't no floor, and 5 meaning there's a floor but just barely, where would you say your property is? Normally, everybody chuckles when I say there ain't no floor. And normally, everybody's going to lie and tell you their home's an 8. And I'll say, great, it's an 8. So, God, you know exactly what I do. So I buy houses, and then I fix them up, and I sell them. Let's pretend you are doing that. How much money do you feel it would cost to do that? And they'll say, oh, him and Han. I do want to get a number out of them there, though, because that's going to be a renegotiating tool for me later on when either I go to the appointment or after my first inspection. So I normally actually get a dollar number there. Oh, it's about 10,000. Okay, cool, 10 grand. So immediately I go, so how much do you owe on the property? Now, this part it's very important you ask that correctly. I ask it no nonchalant, just like, so you wearing socks today? Something so easy to where they feel comfortable to tell me how much they owe. And generally, I have no problem getting people to tell me. And in my opinion, that's one of the most intrusive questions ever. So what are you looking to get for the property? Generally, I will ask that question at minimum 3 times, okay? So I'll say, what are you looking to get for the property? They might say, well, I don't know. You told me you'd give me an offer. And I'll say, come on, you got to know something. You got to know somewhere what you're looking to get. I don't know, Julie. Okay, I'll give you $5. No. I got to have 120. There we go. Now you told me what you're looking for. So you want 120 for the property, right? Now I'm reminding you that I'm paying all the closing costs. I'm going to close quick. It's going to be so simple and easy for you. We're just going to handle everything. So with that being said, is 120 the lowest you'll take? And Peter, just with that simple question alone, do you not get a price reduction just right there on that first initial phone call, just off that question?
Yeah, no question. I mean, you've heard me talk about it. The key in the beginning, when you're negotiating, is before you start throwing numbers out, have the seller negotiate against themselves. So there's tricks of the trade. For instance, asking questions like Julie just said, is that the lowest you could take? What's your bottom line? Can you do any better? Think about it. Those are the kind of questions. You're not even giving a price. You're just getting the seller to say, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I guess I could do lower and this and that. Or, if I close quickly, can we do any better? So what you want to do is you want to keep on asking these prodding kind of questions before you give a number out as much as possible. And every time you ask, if the seller's going down, ask another question. If it goes down by another 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, ask another question. Ask another question until you get to the point. If I say something along the lines, let's say I've gotten 3 price reductions or a couple of price reductions, and then I'm like, well, Mr. Smith, what if I can close this thing in a week or 2 weeks? and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm a 200,000. He's a 200,000, and he stays at 200,000. I'm going to ask 2 or 3 more questions, and if I get 3 no's in a row, basically 3 200,000s, that's at that point. Then I'm going to start throwing numbers out. So I'm going to get him to negotiate against himself as much as possible. I'm going to get to the point where he stops 3 times in a row, where he's just not going down any lower after 3 more after I ask him 3 more questions. And when I know that he's not going any lower, that's when I'm going to go in right behind there. And then I'm going to start giving him a price and hopefully get him even lower than that. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And guys, listen, when you're dealing with sellers, what is going to separate you from everybody else out there trying to do exactly what you're doing? If chances are, if they called you off of a direct mail piece, whether that be a probate, whether that be an absentee owner, whether that be a drive-by, somebody else is out there doing the same thing as you. The seller just has to feel they're better with you than without you, okay? If you could remember that lady that owned that townhouse in Gwinnett County, and her brother was living there? Another investor came out and offered her $55,000 for that townhouse, right? Guys, we offered her $38,000, and she took our offer over someone else's because she felt comfortable with us. I mean, actually, Peter and I went to this appointment ourselves, and if you can remember, Peter, we sold that property, wholesaled that property for $82,000. Right?
I don't know why, but I do remember that.
Yeah, remember it had that dirty, and the brother like trashed her house.
Yeah, I remember we were actually at another meeting, and our negotiators negotiated that deal, and they somehow knew that we were in the area. And it's not like we would go out too often. It's not like I go out too often to these sellers, but they call us like, hey, you guys are in Gwinnett. We got this great deal. And yeah, I remember we popped over there and negotiated that deal. Yep, I sure do.
Because, I mean, she just felt better. She felt better selling to us. Other couple key things.
Hey,
that
listen,
I want
Julie,
you guys
hey, I want to point something else out. There was another thing that happened in that deal. That's a great learning experience. I don't know if you remember, but after we did that deal, you and I went to my favorite place, a cigar shop. We were sitting at the cigar shop, chatting, and do you remember she called me? She got my number. Remember, I left her a card, and she called me.
Yeah.
And this is like an hour after we talked to her, and what she said, she's like, oh, you know what, I thought about this, and maybe she did bring up that she had another offer. But bottom line is she had this, she had buyer's remorse, and this is another very important piece in negotiating. You are going to have sellers that want to back out. Remember, we already signed a contract. We were bound. We were legally had the right to buy that property. But she called us about an hour later. We're sitting at a cigar shop, chatting along, and then she calls and she starts telling me, you know what, I don't think I want to do this deal at this point. I got a higher offer. I can't remember what her reasoning is. And this is watch this. This is very important, but I'm ready to tell you guys. Take notes on this. When you get buyer's remorse from a seller, do not try at that point to get aggressive. Do not try to get confrontational. Do not throw the fact that you have a legal right to that property. Here's what I told her. I said, you know what? We got it under contract. Again, I didn't threaten her. I just said, we already have it under contract. Mary, or whatever her name, I can't remember what her name was. So what I did, because most of the time people can work through buyer's remorse themselves. We don't need to do too much. It's just, it's most of the time when people get buyer's remorse, it's just a shock thing. They're always like, oh man, why'd I do this? So what I did is I backed off the whole thing. I said, Mary, I tell you what, let's do this. We got it under contract, obviously. Why don't you sleep on it? Why don't you just sleep on this whole thing? Why don't you call me tomorrow, or I'll touch base with you around 9 o'clock, and then we'll come to some kind of a amicable resolution that allows us to move forward. See, I put that little seed in her mind. We will come to some kind of an amicable resolution that's going to work out in our favor, that's going to allow us to move forward. Again, I didn't get confrontational, didn't threaten her, didn't tell her we're going to sue her, didn't tell her what the heck's going on. I just kind of backed off, said, I tell you what, Mary, why don't you sleep on it? We already have it under contract. Let's talk tomorrow morning, and we'll come come up with some kind of an amicable solution that allows us to move on. And guess what? The very next morning we talked, she called, she was good. So when buyers have remorse, the best thing to do is just back off. Back off, let them process in their mind, because usually it's just what they call a sticker shock, or just, man, I'm selling the biggest asset in the world that I've ever owned, and what's going on? They just need a moment to process it. And so the night passed. She kind of got everything straight. You know, we had a legitimate contract. We were good people. We weren't barking at her. We weren't threatening at her. You know, we wanted to come up with an amicable resolution. And next morning she called. She's like, hey, I'm good. Let's roll. So whenever you have people trying to back out, don't get confrontational with them. Back away, reset a time to get together with them in the next day or so. And you'll see most of the time they'll work through it themselves, and they'll realize that this is the right thing. They'll realize why it is that they wanted to see you, and that is to sell the property, and you're there to help them.
You're exactly right. And knowing what it was, because in that scenario is she walked into that townhouse and she was mad as hell at her brother because he destroyed it, right? So once she signed the contract with us, she backed out because she felt bad for kicking her brother out, right? So had you have went into it, you know, forcing her to do it, it would have made her decision to leave her brother there better. But when you told her to sleep on it, it made her realize, yeah, I don't deserve my brother doing this to me allowing him to live here free and destroy my property, right? That's what it really boiled down to. So knowing why your sellers are motivated is the key. I hate to be all touchy and feely, but those things matter to people, right? They do. They do. I'm going to give you a few pointers. You can be as great as anybody on the phone, but if you don't, here's a couple ways to get you there faster, okay? Let's say you're having all your seller calls go to voicemail. You are 100 times more likely to contact that lead back if you return their call within 5 minutes, right? If you answer the phone call live, it's a shoo-in. You actually have a contact. So if you're not going to be the best, then it's better to put yourself in a place for success. So that's being better than everyone else at taking seller phone calls, because in this business, there is no such thing as too fast whenever it's contacting sellers. I suggest taking calls live. And if you're not comfortable with that, at least call people back within 5 minutes. Your numbers will skyrocket. If you're waiting 2 and 3 days to call sellers back, please, especially if you guys are dealing with internet leads, you can forget it. If you don't contact your internet leads back within 5 minutes, you might as well go outside, throw every bit of money you spent into a pile, get some gasoline, pour it all over your money, and light it on fire. That's exactly what it's like. And I don't like lighting my money on fire. So that's my best advice for you guys. Until you get to where you need to be, at least be the best at the basics, which is taking the calls immediately. Don't be afraid. So that's what I have on that, Peter.
You know, a couple things. In terms of taking these calls, how important, how critical it is. There's been studies done. I mean, literally legitimate studies done from when a lead comes in. You know, obviously in real estate, a lead is a seller lead. But there's been actually studies done from the time that lead comes in to the time you make contact with the person. I mean, it's just like this burn, the line goes straight down. And literally within the first 60 seconds of you not being able to get back to that lead, that line starts going down in terms of results you're going to get. So very, very important. I'll also tell you, a lot of you all use answering service. I think an answering service is an absolute deal killer. You know, 99.99% of answering service, when people are calling them, they could see right through it. They're calling an answering service, and that gets away from what Julie was talking about, that intimate small thing, to some kind of a big conglomerate thing. So don't use an answering service. If you can't answer the calls, it's easy. Get somebody to answer the calls for you. You can pay them commission. You don't have to pay them a salary. Make sure they're available. You know, you teach them what we teach you. No brainer. So take the calls. So listen, this is great stuff, Julie. I mean, look, guys, it's not rocket science. You know, as you see Julie talk through it, it's a matter of building a relationship. People buy. I mean, I just bought a car a little bit ago, and I mean, I knew I wanted to buy the car, so it wasn't like I was not a difficult sale to make. I mean, I already knew it ahead of time. This is the car I wanted. I went in there, did the deal. But to this day, I remember my salesperson, because she did everything she needed to do to not sell me on the kind of engine that Mercedes got outside. She did everything she can do to build a relationship with me. And I appreciated that. I mean, there were some requests I had that she fulfilled. There were some timing issues I had in terms of when that car can be delivered that she made happen. I remember the relationship. You know, so why do people invite Julie to dinner, afterwards? Why do people send thank you cards, or why do people stay in touch with her, or why do people give us referrals? Because they like the relationship side of it. It's all a relationship building when talking to sellers. So this is great stuff. Look, guys, we're going to continue this series on an ongoing basis. But here's the other thing that Julie and I are going to be doing now. We're going to be taking we're going to individually work with just a number of people, and we're going to show them what it is we do behind the scenes also. We're going to coach them through the process of becoming a successful investor. I got started in this business 15 plus years ago. First 6 months, I managed to lose $500,000. Is it because the real estate business didn't work? Heck no, real estate works. We all know it works. I just didn't know what the heck I was doing. So I paid a huge price in this business when I got started. It was my education. It cost me $500,000. I mean, would you go to a seminar for $500,000? There's probably not a single I wouldn't have gone to a seminar for $500,000. But guess what? If somebody told me when I got started, 6 months later, you're going to be down $500,000, or you could take that safe $500,000, invest to a seminar, or hire somebody to help you, I would have done that, because I knew I was going to lose. I was going down $500,000. I might as well give it to someone that was going to teach me how to do it. And then I got smarter. I got around more successful people. I got the right mentors in my life. I got the right leaders in my life. And, I went from starting in this business to absolute zero in 6 months. And 3 years later, I went from zero to hero, being the biggest, guy here in Georgia. And now, one of the biggest investors in the Southeastern United States. So bottom line is, you need to know how to do this business. So here's the offer we have for you guys. Julie and I are personally going to be taking on individuals. We're going to work with you one-on-one. We're going to take a handful of people, and we're going to show you how to build this business. I mean, from A to Z, from what Julie said today to even before then. How do you get that phone to ring? I mean, we talked about sellers today and talking to them, but there's some steps that take ahead of time. Like, how do you get that seller to call you? There's various ways. There's online, there's offline. There's free ways of doing it. There's paid ways of doing it. There's there's good marketing paraphernalia. There's bad marketing paraphernalia. So we're going to coach you guys all the way through the process. How to get the sellers to call you, how to leverage yourself through other people's efforts. We're going to give you every single form we use. I mean, we're going to give you our contracts that we use to put deals under contract. Do you know that our contract is a 2-page contract, that there's been over $30,000 invested into developing this contract? We had people from the Realtor Commission put this contract together from us. We had some of the top attorneys in the country give us their opinion how to write this contract the right way. We're going to, for our private coaching clients, we hand that contract right over to you. Why is it important to have a good contract? Because in this business, things don't always work out the way you want them to work out. And if you're not correctly protected yourself through the right contract, you're done. You're gone. You could get sued. You could get tremendous amount of problems. So we're going to give you all our forms, all our contracts. We're going to set up your marketing systems for you. We're going to introduce you to people that we get deals from that no one else sees. We're going to introduce you to, guess what? I'm a private lender. So we're going to finance your deals for you that you're going to be doing as a result of what we do. I mean, it's going to be from A to Z. There's nothing that we leave out in our coaching program. We'll work with you for 3 months. We feel like that in that 3-month period of time, we can get you from wherever you are, whether you're just getting started or you're maybe at a certain level already. You just know how to get to our level. Guess what my level is? 10 deals a week in Georgia, 40 deals a month in Florida, another couple deals a month in California. I went to the office today. Heck no. I had other things I wanted to do today. I had lunch with my dad. Well, yeah, well, there you go. That's called leverage. But guess what I did today? I had lunch with my dad. I did 2 spin classes. I did 2 workout sessions. I made some phone calls. I didn't show up at the office. I don't have to show up at the office because I literally have been able to figure out how to leverage myself through other people's time and effort. We're going to show you how to do that. We're going to show you how to pull yourself out of this business, put the right people in place, and have them rock and roll and do things for you. Because we're going to show you how not only to make a ton of money in this business, we're going to show you how to have an incredible lifestyle. Because in the end, everybody gets into real estate for 2 reasons. You want to make the money. You want to have an incredible lifestyle. 95% of people that get in this business never make the money. The 5% that make the money, almost none of them have the lifestyle piece. Because guess what they do? They set it up incorrectly. They set it up like a job. So they're consistently having to do this and that. And they make pretty good money. But hell, they're working harder than they ever worked. And some people make good money. And when you turn out to see what kind of money you're making, you could have made more at McDonald's. So we're going to show you how to set this up correctly. In that 3-month time frame, we're going to work with you intently on a weekly, sometimes daily basis. There'll be times where Julie's going to be talking to your sellers. There's going to be times that we're going to be, very intimately involved from a perspective of here's how you do this and here's how you do that. Every single thing we do and every single thing we use, we're going to just hand over to you. Why? Because down the road, we want you to kick ass. We want you to make a ton of money. And then we want to get into some bigger deals with you. So there's, a little selfishness from our coaching. That's how we create partners along the way. So in 3-month time frame, you're going to go from wherever you are now to super duper real estate investor. We got 2 options for our coaching program. Very simple. Oh, and by the way, we're going to do something really special for you all too when we do this. There's 2 options. Option 1, we have a $15,000 program. We have a $25,000 program. Here's the difference. Oh, by the way, in both of those programs, we're going to take 1/3 of the money that you're paying us, and we're going to do all the marketing for you. That's right. Right out of our office, we're going to use our marketing pieces that we've spent years developing. We're going to use those marketing pieces. We're going to launch all the marketing right out of our office. You don't got to worry about it. We're going to work with our mail house, which is the best mail house in the country, which means you're going to get bottom rates. We're going to initiate marketing for you guys. We're going to blow up your phone. You're going to be talking to sellers. Within the first 30 to 40 days, you're going to have 1 or 2 properties under contract. Within the first 3 months, the goal is for you to complete as many deals as possible. We'll show you how to monetize it as an investor. We'll show you how to take dead leads and monetize those. You guys know I make tens of thousands of dollars on a monthly basis off dead leads. That's right, dead leads. Leads that y'all are throwing away, leads that I used to throw away for 8 years straight. And I realized I could take a dead lead from a seller that tells me, no, I don't want to do a deal with you, or the price ain't right. And I've learned to monetize those to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars. You want to learn how to do that? Guess what? We're going to show you in our coaching program. So you get access, unlimited, pretty much access to Julie and I. We talk to you multiple times on a weekly basis. We're going to take the 1/3 of the fee that you're paying us. We're going to launch marketing for you so you could talk to sellers, or one of your people is going to talk to sellers. That's going to be fantastic. We're going to kick ass with you. You're going to be successful. So here's the difference. There's 2 programs. We have a $15,000 program and a $25,000 program. $15,000 program, we're going to do everything I just said. We're going to take a 1/3 of it, which is $5,000. And in those 3 months, we're going to blow up your phone. You're going to talk to tons of sellers. You're going to get properties under contract. You're going to do deals. It's going to be fantastic. The difference between a $15,000 program and a $25,000 program, $25,000 program, we're going to let you come into our office too. And you could spend a day with us. And we're going to introduce you to everybody that works for us. You're going to see a 9,000 square foot building with a bunch of people running around doing deals, high-fiving themselves. And it's going to be fantastic. So the difference between $15,000 and $25,000 and a $25,000 program, you have the ability to come in and spend a whole day with us. Sometimes we even let our coaching clients come in for more than a day. Heck, some of them stay right here in my lake house, and we have a good time along the way. We'll have some cigars. We'll strategize. You're going to meet the whole team. Then some of our team actually, does some deals for you. I'm telling you, it is absolutely the best decision you could make yourself. This is not like us sending you a manual or some videos that we send to everyone else. No, this is like personalized around your market, about your things, about what you do. So if you want to get signed up, it's very simple. All you do is you're going to text directly to my cell phone, which is 404 404-915-9685. That's 404-915-9685. You're going to text either $15,000 or $25,000. Now, please do not text me if you do not have that money. Well, by the way, we're going to break it up into 3 equal installments. $5,000 down, $5,000 a month for the $15,000 program, and $8,300 down and $8,300 a month for the $25,000 program. Simple as that. We're going to get you going immediately. Within the first couple of days, we'll put together a customized plan for you. What's right for you, what's right for your goals, what's right for your objectives, what do you want? We're going to document it. We're going to put together a plan. We're going to initiate marketing immediately. Within 2 weeks, you're going to be talking to sellers. Within 2 to 3 weeks, you should be putting a property under contract. We don't care if it's a good deal or a bad deal, because remember, we're going to show you how to monetize all kinds of them. We're going to get different components that we use here that sometimes we don't even discuss live, because we're only ones that do it, and we don't want to get the word out to the whole world what we do and how we do it. But if you're a coaching client of ours, we're going to show you how to do it. You're going to be happy. I promise you're going to be a happy, happy cat. So if you're ready to get going, text 15,000 to my cell phone or 25,000 to my cell phone. I'll call you. If you got any questions, we'll go over it. But please, please, please make sure you're ready to get started. Please make sure you got the money. Okay? We're only working with serious people. You know, my contention is simple. If you're not willing to invest money into yourself, this is not a business you want to get into. I mean, this is a very difficult business to learn by yourself. I tried it, and I'm as good as, I promise you, I'm very good at this business. I tried to learn it myself. I fell flat on my face to the tune of $500,000. So if you're ready to get going, text us. We're excited. We're going to get you rolling. But regardless of that, we'll be right back here next Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about another facet of the business. And we're gonna just rock and roll. Again, the number is 404-915-9685, and you're gonna just text 25,000 or 15,000. Again, we're gonna break it up over 3 months into 3 equal installments, and we're gonna get you going. We're gonna get you excited. You're gonna be fired up. You're gonna be talking to sellers. You're gonna get everything we got. We're gonna give you all our paperwork, all our spreadsheets, all our marketing material, or direct mail paraphernalia. We're gonna teach you what we say and how we say it. We're gonna show you how to monetize leads that no one ever makes money off of. We're gonna show you how to pick out the right areas in your marketplace where 80% of do you know there's places where you all live where 80% of all the deals are located. That proven fact. Sometimes in some markets 90% of all the deals are located. Well, you know how to find those areas? It's not what you think, I promise you. It's got very little to do with activity. It's got almost everything to do with characteristics of those areas. That's the first thing I'm going to teach you, how to find those hot pockets, I call them, in your marketplace where sellers are ready to sell at a discount, and they're just waiting for someone to get them a call or to tell them that you're around. We're going to teach you how to do that. We're going to teach you how to develop an incredible list of investors that are dying to buy your properties. What a great problem to have. You know, we have sellers calling us investors calling us every day for our wholesale deals. They're calling our sales team and they're screaming at them. How would you like a bunch of sellers, a bunch of investors that are looking to buy your deals, calling you on a daily basis, screaming you, where's my deals? Where's my deals? And how would you like to have a bunch of sellers on the other end calling you saying, hey, Pete, buy my deal? And how would you like to have deals you can't buy and be able to monetize? All that we do on a daily basis. We're going to show you how to do that. So for those of you that are ready, again, text me directly, 404-915-9685. I'll call you back. We'll go over whatever questions you have. I want to make sure you're a good fit for us also. And if you're a good fit, man, we're rolling and rock and rolling. Julie, I know there's questions.
Hey, Peter.
Go ahead. You got something else? Yep. Fire away.
So first off, as we were going through it, everybody that's actually on this live tonight, I'm going to send the actual lead sheet that I personally use, as well as what all of the realtors use that are on our team. And I'm just going to send that out to you guys. So if you don't get anything else from tonight, just use that lead sheet, go through the flow. I know it'll get you more deals, but I also want to answer Alex's question. Alex, thank you for being here tonight. It says, do you send your agents to the off-market leads? And I tell you absolutely yes. So what's going to be coming up in some of our future podcasts and even in our coaching is how to build a humongous real estate team, okay, and have our realtors going and giving actual cash offers to every property that they go to. So yes, all 35 realtors on our team get off-market leads every day of the week, okay? And in the last 9 months, I built a team of 35 agents with over 170 listings currently. So it not only works, it thrives. That's how we get deals. And guess what? It's not just about getting deals, Peter. It's about how these realtors are making a ton of money themselves, because not every time is it right for a seller to do a deal with us. They may owe too much or what have you. So yes, Alex, we do give realtors off-market deals, and whenever they go to a deal, they're either getting a deal or they're getting a listing. Let me see if we have any more questions on here. And thank you for everyone's input. I really appreciate it. It's how do we work with people in other states? That's the beauty of the internet and phone. Obviously, we can use GoToMeetings. We use phone call. Most people I work with aren't even in Georgia or Florida, because currently we kind of live in both places because of our business. So everybody that we work with, I mean, I talk to every day. And if you want to work with me, I can just tell you, for me personally, please make sure you're interested in becoming successful, because I put so much heart into it. If you're not successful, it legitimately hurts my feelings. So, you know, let's get out there and make money and show you exactly what we're doing. Any other question, guys, please? Peter, it says, will you be able to be your private lender? You want to go over that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I personally lend money to investors. On an average month, I lend out somewhere between $5 to $7 million to investors. Most of them, tons of them are coaching clients. So absolutely, we'll get you the money set up if we can, and if we can't, we know where to get it. I mean, I have connections all over the United States, and so yes, that's part of what it is that we're going to show you how to do, and we're going to provide for you. And if we can't, we know where to get it. By the way, I just want to answer this other question in terms of how do we work with people out of state. Look, we've been doing this for 15 plus years, over 3,500 deals. We have offices all over the United States. Bottom line is this: we don't need to look into your eyes to tell you what to do. We know exactly what needs to be done. We know how to account for market conditions. We know how to account for market changes. We know how to do this. Literally, we're doing this in Baltimore. We didn't know anything about Baltimore, supposedly, 2 months ago. Now we're doing deals in Baltimore. We've done deals in Colorado. We've done deals in North and South Carolina. We've done deals in the Northeast. We've obviously done tons of deals in the West Coast. I think we got about 15 deals right now we got going on in the West Coast, Julie. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so we got,
also,
go ahead.
Also, Harmon wants to know, can you make a deal with not seeing the house, with not actually seeing the property? So I guess my question, Herman, is, are you wanting to buy, fix, and sell that property, buy and hold that property, or wholesale that property? If you're asking me if you should buy a house to buy, fix, and sell, and you've never done one before, without seeing it, I would say no. But wholesale properties, I've not seen probably 95% of the properties we've ever wholesaled. I mean, I wholesaled a $700,000 beach home, sold it for $825 and never even seen it. Because in this business, it's not about what the house looks like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it is. All that matters is the numbers. And Herman wants to do rentals. If you're doing that and you're buying a rental, you really want to know the property manager, and you want to get a good value from, I would call 3 random realtors. Make sure you're getting good comps. Make sure you have a good property manager. I mean, heck, Herman, if you want one out of state, I got plenty in Jacksonville. if you want a rental property. So, I would buy a rental property without seeing it under the right conditions.
And that's the other thing that's important. You're right. We sometimes, our private clients, we supply inventory for them. I mean, that happens a ton of times. And so we give you exclusive rights, first looks to some of our own personal inventory off market that no one ever sees. It's totally off market, it's totally behind the scenes. So that's the other thing we do for our private clients. We give you access to our own private inventory that no one sees out there. Look, I could just say there's a benefit. If you want to make more money, if you want to be more successful, if you want to make money, if you want to have a lifestyle, this is the right move for you all. So text me 404-915-9685. Put down you want to get started with the $15,000 program or the $25,000 program. Everything's included in both. The only difference with the $25,000 is you have the ability to come in here once or twice during the 3 months, spend a day with us. We'll mastermind, we'll strategize, we'll just really lay it out. You'll meet our people, and we'll have. Other thing, we're gonna have a good time doing it because, as you can see, we have a blast doing what we do. I mean, we really we build this business from a standpoint of it's work, it's job, we take it extremely seriously, but at the same time, we have an absolute blast doing it, and we'll show you how to take our culture of enjoying, having a good time, doing it for the right reasons, doing it to make an impact, not just on yourself, but the people around you and the community around you. We'll show you how to take this culture we've developed here right back in your own marketplace. All right. Anything else, Julie, we got to go over?
Let's see. Herman said, we'll start 15K. We'll speak to you in regards to the deal. And I want you to understand, because we're talking a lot about a dollar figure here, but when you work with us, it's like one-on-one. So you have my cell phone, you have our cell phone number. And when I work with people, generally they become my friends for life. We're constantly doing deals. So I don't personally put a time limit on things like that. So, Herman, just get Peter a call. And the thing that makes this coaching program different than most others, you're normally dealing with one mentor. You're getting 2 here, right? So it's probably the same opinions, but brought to you in a different fashion. Because I'm probably a little bit nicer delivery. I'm just kidding, Peter. But by the
probably way, right.
Probably. And when I got started in this business, you know what's crazy? Guess who I hired as my mentor? I'm going with a crazy pause here. I didn't just run into this business and decide to lose money. I hired a mentor, and my mentor became one of my best friends, as well as business partners. So, mentors are more than just, and I still have mentors to this day. I pay thousands of dollars a month in areas where I need help in. So that's a hard thing to learn.
All right,
well,
we cool?
8 o'clock, guys, and happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, and be thankful for your family and everything you have.
See y'all.